Well, I had a secret of my own.
Oh, girl.
I did.
What secret did you have? That is a horror story.
It was awful.
Liar. Amanga. I had to just say it in my own language where I'm like, Amanga. Lies.
Welcome to episode 3 of My Boyfriend's Secret Family, a podcast about loving a liar. I'm Andrea Stats. I'm a comedian, a theater artist, and aspiring gluten-free influencer. And I'm joined today by my friend, Sifiso Mavena. Sifiso, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you. I haven't caught up with you in... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say thanks. It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
I just want everyone to know that Sifiso Mavena is one of my favorite people on the planet. And I absolutely went to Sarah Lawrence, like, mostly because of you. Because I met you on... No, this is true, and I've told you this. So don't...
I don't remember... I seriously don't remember this. What?
Okay. When I went up for my interview weekend... I met you, and I was like, that's the coolest person I've ever met. I want to go hang out with her.
Girl, stop.
And I did, and it was 100% worth it. It's true.
Well, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came.
We had a good time.
The bus that I take goes past your old place, and I think of you. Every time I'm on that 25 bus on my way to work.
Is it my sad little illegal apartment? Owned by Irene? Irene, don't rent from Irene. The apartment's illegal. Irene. She never returned my deposit.
Oh, Irene. Why? Ish.
And I can't remember her last name, but if I could, I would name names. I'll look it up.
Name and shame.
Irene. Oh, that lady. Sifiso, you're so cool. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I didn't tell you that I was going to ask you to do that, but I am. Sorry, this is the worst question ever.
Yeah, I know, because
I could talk about you.
I'm like so lightning fast on my feet. I'm known for how quick-witted I am. I don't know what to say. I'm from Zimbabwe originally. I've lived in the U.S. for 10 years. I like theater. And
she's very good at it.
Thanks.
She's very good at it.
Honestly, if this is why we're here, for me to just have my cup filled by your generosity, like, thank you. Because what?
I adore you.
I love the Lord. I love life. I love people. I feel like that's maybe how to sum me up.
Yep. That's all true too. Like, Sifiso's genuinely genuine. Just a solid good person. Unlike
friend,
Colin.
So are you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Unlike Colin, we're calling him Colin, the subject of this podcast.
I'm really excited to get into this. I told a friend that I was going to do this, and I just said that you and I have never fully discussed what went down there.
Nope.
We've never gotten into it, and I have patiently waited. I did not push, I didn't pry, and I really feel like I'm so ready to understand what happened.
Because I'm still trying to figure that out.
All right, girl. Well,
so if you haven't listened to episode 1 and 2, go ahead and listen to episode 1 and 2. But just a quick recap. I met Colin in August of 2020, and he seemed like the best guy ever. And then we were about...
This was in Florida.
This was in Florida.
And he bought you the finger puppets.
No, those were from my friend Liz, but he got himself a puppet, and then we played puppets together.
I see.
So, a man who will play puppets with me, I thought was my soulmate.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, we all did. about 5 months into dating, I find out he lied about his age, but I managed to gaslight myself and tell myself that, like, I was remembering it wrong from Bumble.
What? Okay, how old was he actually? This has happened to me before, and it is actually egregious. Not
Oh, it
like
is.
because like make allow me to have agency in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Allow me to be like, I got myself an older man. I got myself a zaddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, allow me the choice. Don't make that choice for me.
Right.
Okay, so yeah,
So
what was the discrepancy?
when we met, I thought he was 39 and
Uh-huh.
he was 48. And people have been
That's like
like,
9 years.
9 years. You didn't know? And I'm like, men don't take care of their skin. Like, how do I know? It
I
was
mean,
plausible.
yeah, it was. Like I met him. Yeah, that was possible.
Yeah.
Wow, 9 years, huh? That's almost a decade.
Right. So then, 9 months into dating, I find out he's still legally married, and I find out from the internet that he has 3 kids. He never told me about them, ever. I know that face.
Wait, I'm confused. Didn't he propose at one point?
Yeah. That's
So,
episode like 7.
okay, my bad. Okay, I'm jumping ahead.
It's
Okay,
okay.
I'm just like, okay. Three American children.
3 American children.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And he never mentioned,
Not once.
and he was still legally married. Was it a situation where like the the divorce was contentious or something like that? Was it that it was underway and things were just moving slowly, or was
They
there a
were.
wife out there who was like in full belief that she was like in a happy marriage? Like I'm just trying to understand the situation.
The level of fucked upness, for lack of a
Yeah,
better term,
yeah,
the
yeah.
level of dysfunction. So they were separated, and they'd been separated for a while.
Okay.
Not that long, but they'd been separated. So we started dating in August. He filed in February, and I found all this out in May. And he
Okay.
did not tell me. I found it all out from the internet. So
So so what happened when you confronted him?
he was like, "Yeah, I have kids." And I was like, "Okay." Basically. I was like, "Divorce is hard. It makes you do crazy things." It's really embarrassing.
I think I wonder, like on one hand, I can understand not wanting to like sh share all the crazy all at once, because you're thinking, oh, I might scare her off, So I can see a world where he was like, let me just sort this out without her knowing. Let me like file for the divorce. Let me like get it all ready, and then she never has to know kind of thing.
Right.
The thing that I find difficult to understand is like those children, like the children aren't going away. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
at some point it would become an issue. Like I don't know, graduations, like major birthdays. I don't know. I'm just like there's like if like God forbid something like terrible happened, and they
Right.
needed, someone needed a kidney donated or something. Oh, I'm just giving this kidney to this random 16-year-old that
Yeah. Like, it's gonna come up. I asked him what his plan was, and he was like, "I didn't have a plan."
wow. Also, I just want to apologize for how morbid that example. I don't know why I went
It's
so dark. I like like I did start in a happy place with like graduations and birthdays, and
You
then
know
I
what?
went to the
Sometimes kidneys
darkest
go bad.
possible. I don't know why. I don't know why that was what popped into my head. So I want to apologize for that.
That's okay.
Um, and then I also just want to like I don't know. I'm confused about how he didn't have a plan. I don't know these. I don't know.
He didn't have a
I
plan.
don't. I don't know how you. So he was just winging it, like the lies were just as the wind
Yeah.
blew.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So we moved to Tampa together to be closer to his kids. He's got a daughter who's up in Delaware, and then he's got 2 kids that are in Tampa still. The 2 younger ones are in Tampa.
Wait, how old are the kids?
When I met him, the oldest was 20, just turning 21 and getting married. I think the middle one had just turned 19, and the youngest one was about to turn 16.
Look at me predicting 16 accurately. Number
Yeah.
one. Number two. So, like timeline wise, are you saying that you found out that he had kids on the internet? You talked to him about it, and then he convinces you to move to Tampa to be closer to them, or did you move to Tampa without realizing that it was to be closer to his kids?
I knew about the kids by the time we
Okay.
moved to Tampa.
Okay.
He
But
convinced me to move to Tampa because of the kids. Because I was like, Tampa? Why? I don't want to move to Tampa. And he was like, well, that's where my kids are. And I was like, okay.
And at this stage, you're like, I love you. I'm going to make it work. Your kids are obviously important to you, so I'll come with you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now you're in Tampa.
I got to move my podcast studio out to the garage so that I don't have to deal with my delightful co-host, Dora Winifred. I love you so much. Should we show you to the camera?
Hi. Hey, Black Cat.
She's a good baby. She's my Pensacola baby. I got her in Pensacola. So yeah, so we moved to Tampa, and way before we went to Tampa, I was like, your kids know about me, right? And he was like, yes. And he told me about the conversations in which he told his children about me, So I get to Tampa, and the kids are kind of weird and not very nice to me. And then the 2 girls and I, we go to Target together, and they're like, they found out that I was raised Mormon, and they were like really mean about it. They were like bragging on Mormonism and how dumb it is. And I was just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
And then they were like, sorry, Sam. We're going to call the youngest boy Sam. They're like, sorry, Sam is so weird. He's really shy. And I was like, that's fine. That's okay. And then the middle girl goes, yeah, and he just found out about you on Sunday. We just found out about you. So he lied.
Not the kids
I said, your
snitching
dad.
on their
I know. So I said, what? He told me that he told you guys about me a long time ago. And
Wow.
Elena goes, yeah, well, he lied. And I told him he needed to tell you the truth. And if he didn't, I would.
Listen, I respect her. I respect her for that. Not for disrespecting you, but for like letting truth prevail. She said, the truth coming out, sir. The truth will out. And you can choose how it happens, my guy. That feels like, when your parents are mad at you and they're like, you can choose how this goes down. It's like, that's really sad when your kids are parenting you. That's sad. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that his daughter had to be like, hey, this is messed up. You're in the wrong. And we're going to make this right. And, I can do it or you can do it. That is a sad, sad state of affairs, I think. Dang. Yeah. So he lied to you. I mean, he lied. It seems he lied a lot.
Yeah.
I think it makes me a little sad because I just don't know how he never gave you guys a chance to actually have a real relationship, right? Like, how could it ever have been real love if there was no truth there? Like, everything was just like, I feel so sorry for him because it sounds as if he was trying to play a role. Like, I'm trying to be this younger guy who's cool and like unattached. I don't have kids. I'm not married. Like, it feels like a cry for help almost. It's just really crappy that it had to come at your expense.
Yeah. So that was a great way to start our living together.
How long did you live together?
We lived together about 2 years, a little over 2 years.
So this is month 9 of year 1.
This
Where
is, well, so I found out about the kids month 9, and then we moved in together about a year.
Okay. Okay, so 3 months after finding out about the kids, you move to Tampa. The kids are wild.
I kept getting like uninvited from things, and they just, they weren't nice. I go into great detail on how they weren't nice to me in the last episode. So, but yeah, they were not very nice. It
Okay,
was tough.
so the kids are out of like a movie, out of a 90s Hollywood movie.
They were
You
trying to
know,
parent
it's
trap
get
their
yeah.
parents together.
Sounds
They
like
absolutely were. And I told
sounds
him
like
that.
yeah.
And he was like,
Okay,
well, that's never going to work. And I'm like, okay, well, they're still trying.
so they do that and you're trying to remain strong. And
Yes.
then so then what happens next? You live together for how long? Because you moved again, right?
Yes. We'll get there.
And when did I see you in New York? Remember you two came to New York?
I want to say it was like April of 22.
Dang, so this is like you guys had been through some stuff by that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Whoa.
thought he was done lying to me by then. And he told me he didn't lie about anything else. And he was never going to lie ever again. And I believed him. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Tampa. What happens? What happens
Okay.
next? What's the next lie?
So I had a secret of my own.
Oh,
Uh,
girl,
I
what
did.
secret did you have?
So I had never wanted kids. I had told him from the very beginning I don't want kids.
Yes, I know this about you.
Yeah. And then about a month before I turned 37, my ovaries just like bing turned on.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh no."
You want one. You want a baby.
Yeah. Real
I
bad.
didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that that shift had happened for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time I've known you.
Was very clear, very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my ovaries like activated and I wanted a baby, but like in I if you have not experienced that like
I
biological,
know. I know it's
it's
loud.
brutal.
Yeah, yeah,
It's animal. It's
yeah.
like, oh. And that happened for me, which was a total surprise to me. And I kept it to myself for a long time because I was like, what is this? This came out of nowhere. Like, what is this? So this is from my journal. This is October 18th, 2021.
Hmm.
I'll just say it. I'm really starting to think I want kids, and it's freaking me the fuck out. I've been telling myself for years that children weren't compatible with the kind of life I want to lead, but is that true? Or were children only incompatible with the kind of life I want to lead when I was partnered with men who would leave everything on my plate?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
dang. As the youth say.
So I was really interrogating this desire. I was like, is this selfish? Is this me being selfish?
Mm,
Here are the reasons that I'm regarding it as selfish, although they may or may not be. I don't know. Wanting to have a real family, wanting to be loved and needed the way only a mother can be, wanting to
mm,
solidify my place in Colin's life and family, wanting to find healing through mothering, etc. Are
mm.
these reasons actually selfish? Maybe. Or maybe I'm framing them that way. Do I really want to solidify my place, or do I want to have a family with the man I love? Which is a perfectly reasonable, evolutionarily driven desire. It's not like it's a weird want, especially when you're 37 and childless and finally have a good partner who would be and is a good father and a good provider. If there's anybody I want to do parenthood with, it's him, because I know that A, he knows what he's doing, and B, he likes it and he'd be excited about it. He loves being a dad, and his children are close to him because of it. Now I would look at that closeness as more of enmeshment, but at the time, I wasn't there yet. All right, I should talk to Colin about it, but I don't know. It seems unfair to put that kind of pressure on him because I don't even know. Maybe I just need to mourn the children I won't have and the mother I won't be. Maybe I just need a puppy. I truly don't know if this is just a phase. I do know that babies are making me cry lately, so that's great. I know that when I see couples with young kids, I feel achy. And I feel that like invisible presence, like something waiting to happen. And I want it, I do. And I don't know what to do about it. I kind of think Colin would be really enthusiastic about it, and I do hope that I'm not projecting that onto him. But I really might be. What 50-year-old man with 3 grown kids wants to do it all over again? It seems like such a huge ask, because it is.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot there. I just want to say, though, it was so lovely to hear your writing again. Like, it's been a while since we were in class together and like doing that all the time. The part that stood out to me is like you processing your reasoning or reasoning through the like changes or like that. Yeah, that like, is this just a phase? Are my motives, pure? I can't imagine what that must have felt like feeling that on a like, because that's like an emotional, psychological, biological. That's like you're feeling that in all these different ways. And then you have this like opportunity with his kids, right? And you are, there's like a structure. It's dysfunctional, or like the kids aren't like, they aren't responding to you in a favorable way, but it is a family structure, right? And you've moved there because he wants to be close to his kids, which is giving you this information that he is a good father and he's someone who's invested in the lives of his kids. So I do see how you would feel safe to want to start a family with a man like that. Like that makes sense to me. The question I have though is, when you got together, was you not wanting kids part of the conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like, was that a deal breaker that you had spoken about? Because I mean, if you're saying one of the oldest was 21, like at that stage, I'm like, is he trying to be changing diapers again?
Right. I told him on the first date that I didn't want kids.
Yeah.
And then when I confronted him about his kids, he asked me, is that something that you want? And I was like, first of all, I already told you it's not. And like, that ship has sailed. Like, no. So to all of a sudden have this desire, I felt really guilty. I felt really, really guilty for wanting this thing that I had assured him I did not want.
Right, because it would change the dynamic of the relationship,
Right.
So I mean, you prefaced this revelation as a secret that you had, but did you ever tell him?
I did, but it took a while. I held on to it for months. I really I was not going to bring it up to him until I was sure, like, this is something I want.
Yeah.
So I really sat with it and thought about it and thought about what it would mean and all of that.
Yeah.
And thought about if he was open to it. So I had an IUD at the time, and it was beyond expired. It needed to come out. So I go to the doctor to get it out, and they're pulling it out and it won't come out. And I'm like seeing stars, screaming.
That is a horror story.
It was awful. Oh my gosh. Give women pain relief for IUD insertion and removal.
I am squirming thinking about that. Okay.
Yeah. It was horrific. It hurt so bad. And the doctor was like, I can't get it out. You're going to have to be put under, and we'll get it out surgically. And I was immediately, my mind is like, worst case scenario, the IUD has burrowed into the walls of my uterus and it's stuck, and I'm going to hemorrhage, and I'm going to go have this surgery, and I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up with no uterus, and then I'll never get my baby. I just was bereft at this news, and I went home and went straight to bed at like 3:00 in the afternoon. I was done. And then I got over it a little bit, but I still was really, really nervous about the IUD coming out. And Colin was very like supportive about it, but I didn't feel like I could tell him like, I'm scared I won't be able to have a baby if it goes wrong, because he doesn't know that I want a baby. So
right, talk about an inciting incident.
Yeah. So I was really freaked out about that. And I'm also like trying to feel him out and see if this is something that he is interested in. So, like I said, he already knew I didn't want kids, and then he would ask me again if I wanted them. Heidi does. He would tell me about like telling his friends about me, and he would say, oh, they asked if you want kids. I said, no, I don't think she does, but she has time to change her mind. And I was like, do I have time to change my mind? We go to my sister's house to be with my family for Thanksgiving, and he's joking about getting matching pajamas, and my pajamas say bun in the oven and his say bun maker, which aside from just being in really poor taste, I
know, with your family? Sorry.
Like, that's not a funny joke.
Yeah.
Like, my family would be really excited, and that would be really mean. I was weirded out by that. But I also took it as like, okay, maybe he's open to this. All right. Yeah. But I'm still just like so anxious about telling him.
In the interim, had you had the IUD taken out?
I tell him before the IUD gets taken out.
Okay. That makes sense. That's what I meant by like inciting incident. It feels like that moment in the story where the protagonist is forced by circumstance, because it feels like this, I may not have another chance. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sitting there like, what if this goes wrong? I've got to say something.
So this is from December 27th, 2021. I have to tell him. I have to be brave and tell him. If I can't tell him, who can I tell? It's odd, my reluctance. I can tell Colin anything. He's the sweetest, most understanding man in the world. I was still really nervous, though.
Yeah.
But
I
worked up the nerve, and I told him. I said, this isn't a deal breaker. I said, I still want to be with you, regardless of whether or not this is something you want. I think I want a baby. Like, I'm so sorry, but I think I do. So I did. I told him. And then
And what was his reaction?
He was like, I thought you might. And so this is December 29th. I did it. I told him. I was brave, and it was scary, but I did it anyway. I told him I might want a baby, and he was really sweet about it. And he did not immediately say yes. He didn't say yes at all. He said we'd figured it out, that we'd talk about it. He seemed to feel very bad that I'd been holding it in for so long, because I did tell him, like, look, I have been thinking about this for like 4 months now. 3 months. 4 months? No, it was like September, October, November, December, yeah. It would have been nice if he'd been like, yeah, baby, let's do it, whatever you want. But the truth is that it's a huge ask that totally changes the trajectory of his life. I've also had 4 months to think about it, whereas he's had his suspicions but didn't know for sure. He actually liked being a dad, though. Loved it. Doesn't mean he wants to do it again, but he did actually really enjoy it.
That's hard, because so why was he making those jokes about buns in the oven?
Right?
If he was going to be so cagey. Like, I'm glad that he was sweet about it, because I think that it was more about, like, to me, the way I'm hearing this, like, the way I'm hearing your story is that it wasn't just, you were having, I don't know, an awakening to something new, and it was like a tender, precious thing. And so it feels like the least that he could do was be gentle with you, and with this, just how precious the moment was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a fan of what is it? Like, it's like playing games. It's like, why are we making jokes in front of your family about having babies and like even planting the seed of that life. And especially if he says that he knew or he had suspicions about it, it's like,
Right.
bro, so then why you, that's kind of cruel then. Or was he fishing? Is that what he was trying to do? Was he like trying to gauge your reaction to be like, I knew it? I don't, that's kind of where I lose the thread a little bit with him.
I think he was I I think he was playing a role. I think he was playing a part.
I just find, I'm like, how, I think I just don't understand how you can enter into, I know people do it. I just think it's sad to get into a relationship saying that you're looking for love. Because there's so many different kinds of relationships, right? Like there's, you can get into a transactional situation and everybody knows what's up and it's all good. You can get into like an emotional type situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, there's just different dynamics. But to say that you're looking for your person, to say that you want to build a life with someone, that requires a certain level of authenticity, a certain level of showing up. So then to show up, to not show up and have a representative or to have to have a character showing up, like
Yeah.
there's like no relationship that can actually happen there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's unfair for the person who's in there actually showing up. Like you're like un what's the word, like you're revealing or sharing your deepest, like most tender parts. Like you're there like, hey, this is what's happening in my life, these are the feelings that I'm having, this is how I feel about your kids, this is how I, like you're showing up as like a real person. And this joker is just like, mm, Colin, the characters here. Like where do I slate? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like, hi, I'm Colin. I don't know how tall he was, but like I'm 6'1" and I live in Tampa.
5'10".
She said 5'10", girl, don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi,
And when I first met him, I kind of felt like he kind of seemed like he was playing a character, but he just kept showing up as that guy. So I was like, I guess that's who he
let's
is.
be real. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a little
Dang.
more from my journal. I apologized for changing my mind, for changing the game. He told me it
Mm.
was okay. And I was like, really? Because if you'd been the one to change your mind and I hadn't, I'd be pissed. I also said something like, oh, you must be surprised because I was so adamant about not wanting them, except I don't think you ever believed me, did you? And he was like, no, I never understood why anybody wouldn't want kids.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like, oh, that's so sad because he's even he's lost whatever points I had given him. It's not that he's read you well. It's more that he's just like, everybody wants kids. It's like not even like he's like, you, Andrea. Like I can see that there's this conflict in you that you can't see. There's like it's not even that. It's just a generalization that he like it happened to be true in this case.
Yeah. I think he could tell. Like I was like just like staring at babies and I'd be like, wow, that's a really pretty baby. It's probably creepy in hindsight. Like I wanted to know what he looked like when he was a baby. Like, I think there were things that were telling him. He brought both of those things up. So as
Okay,
like
okay,
hints. Yeah.
okay. So he wasn't saying, okay, I think I misunderstood. He wasn't saying everybody wants a baby. It was more like, yeah, I don't get why he would say it like that. So basically he was like, oh, I've been noticing the signs, even though you were saying this is how you've been behaving recently.
Yeah. Because when I told him, he was like, I thought you might. Yeah.
All right. He can
So
have
there's
his
no real
1.5
resolution
points back.
there. Just like, he's like, I'll think about it. I have to process this. I have to think about it. And I was
Which
like,
is fair enough.
okay. Which is totally fair, right? And
Yeah.
but he did say, like, I think you'll be a really good mom.
Oh, you
So,
see?
yeah.
Like, okay. Well done, Colin. At least he knew how to show up in that moment.
Yeah, instead of being like, no.
Yeah.
So he says, okay, I have to think about it. Totally fair, right?
Yeah.
But then we don't talk about it. So this is January 1st, 22.
How
Uh,
many months is this after you?
this is only a couple of days.
Oh,
This
days.
is this yeah. Uh Colin mentioned what we talked about the day after, and he said he didn't want to ignore it, that he was processing it and thinking about things, and then hasn't mentioned it since. I know it's only been a few days and I need to be patient. And then we still don't talk about it. So then this is January 14th. Colin still hasn't talked about it at all, except to tell me that he's thinking about it and not ignoring it. Okay, I feel a little ignored. The whole idea was to start a dialogue, and we're not
Mm,
dialoguing. I told him 3 weeks ago. I don't know, man, and I can't figure this out without actually talking about it with him. And now it's something we're not talking about, even though it's there, and even though it's something I really want and need to talk about. I know that he's not ignoring this need of mine. I'm sure he's been thinking about things quite a bit, but it feels uncomfortable. I don't know
mm,
what's going on in his head, and it sucks. I know I could just ask him, but I don't want to pressure him. It's getting to the point, though, that I will either burst into tears when he jokes about a baby. Because this man is like joking about babies all the time. When he jokes about a baby, or I'll just burst into tears at the sight of a baby or baby clothes or toys or whatever. I want it. I want it so fucking much. And I really want to know if he's down or not, because if he's not, I need to figure out what that means. If I truly love Colin enough that I'm okay with not ever becoming a mother, I think I probably do, but I'm not sure, and I won't know until we get there. And if we do, then I need to mourn the child I'll never have. And that's going to be a huge loss, really difficult to process. I hope I don't have to. But sitting around every month as we both get older is getting painful.
would you really have sacrificed that want for him?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I would have tried,
Yeah.
but uh ultimately I don't know.
That's so hard. Like
Yeah.
that's such a painful place to be in. And yeah, it's I think so cruel to be making jokes about babies. Like how would that have played out for the rest, if you'd grown old together? How would that have played out? So how long did that actually go on for? Like this
A,
game of not
a
talking
while.
about it, like a month?
Longer than that. We'll get there. So, in January of 2022, the IUD comes out. I need birth control. And so we decide to do fertility awareness, which before people come for me, I'm not anti-birth control. I'm just anti-birth control for me. I did not want to do another
Oh,
IUD. I've never reacted well to hormonal birth control.
girl, I remember this phase of your social media posting. Is this when you kept posting like these girls who were talking about uterus, like your uterus and your period, and like, and like I remember
I
this.
still feel that way, by
I
the way.
remember this because I ended up following the one lady, and I was like obsessed with something she said about everyone thinks that your period is supposed to be this time when you're like down and miserable, but it could actually be like just hormonally, it could be really an activated time, an energized time, and you could, and she was like showing the science and like talking about the hormones. I was like, okay, girl, go off. Yes, sis.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I actually do remember that that must have been this time, right? When
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
into this. Okay. Okay.
So I actually started to like, first of all, I learned how pregnancy actually happens. It's
Yeah.
not like how they told me in sex ed that like human beings are basically walking baby bombs, and if you have sex you get pregnant. Like that's actually not how it works. Like there's only a couple of days, in the month
Mhm.
where you can get pregnant, and your
Mhm.
body gives you signs of that. And
Mhm.
so I started tracking fertility, and I started keeping track of when I ovulated, and then, and I really think that if people are not on hormonal birth control, they should track that, because
Mhm.
it's really empowering and you learn a lot about your body.
Mhm.
I realized that, like, I don't really have anxiety. I have luteal anxiety. I have anxiety
Mhm.
after I ovulate.
Mhm.
And it's not as much of an issue the first 2 weeks of my cycle, or,
Mhm.
whenever I ovulate or whatever. So it was really, really eye opening and really empowering to start paying attention to my cycle. And then we're just using condoms when I'm fertile.
Mhm.
And I'm still just like, I want a baby. I want a baby. So then in February of 2022, my grandma dies. Day
Mhm.
after her 101st birthday. It is
Mhm.
sad, but like,
Yeah. Yeah. Dang. Yeah,
yeah,
101. Truly, that's amazing. That's a gift.
that's
But
a good long
yeah,
life.
still
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, it was still rough.
Yeah.
So we go to the funeral in Utah with my family. My family loves him. Everybody loves him. I found my nieces and nephews. I love you guys so much. They're not listening, but like, they're too young, but I love them so much. I found them a little overwhelming. And one of my sisters seemed a little miserable. And I was like, maybe I don't want this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
this is going to be really hard. I mean, I know that parenting is really
Yeah.
hard, but
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I don't want to do this. And it kind of seems like Colin doesn't want to do it. I thought it over for a little while. And when we got back from the funeral, I told him, you know what? I'm ready to let this go. Like,
Mm.
I'm comfortable with not pursuing this. And I just wanted to let you know that I think maybe, maybe we can just like be the fun aunt and uncle.
Mm.
And this is not something that I need. And he was like, no, like, you should be a mom. You're going to be such a good mom. This is something that I think that you should do, which is a weird way of saying, isn't it? Not something I think that we should do.
No,
Like,
because no, he's obviously saying this is I hate to digress, but this is like the one thing that irks me. It sounds like he's going ahead and he is just eating the cake while it's on the table without actually wanting to like commit to it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not actually wanting, I've lost track of this analogy and metaphor or metaphor, but I just mean like he's wanting to have his cake and eat it too, right? So he's not interested. He's like, you should be a mom. He has the humanity to be like, this is actually something that you should do. I can see it's something, it might be challenging, but I can see that it's a worthwhile endeavor and I support it. It's not going to be with me. However, I'm enjoying I'm enjoying this situation. This
right.
works for me. And so I'm gonna go for as long as this ride, as long as this ride is operational and like and going, I'm going. I'm on it. And then when the theme park shuts down, that's when I'll get off, kind of thing. And that is honestly to me, that's like the most hurtful thing because to use another person in that way when you know he knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
But he put himself bro. Sorry, this is like I've digressed. But that's truly it's just so cruel. I think it's so cruel, especially when he knows it's like we're not talking, if we do these things when we're in our 20s, we're learning, we're like we're figuring out ourselves, we're figuring out how to be in relationships, etc., etc. But like he knows that I hate this. I hate it when people talk about biological clocks, but like I don't know, there are some realities
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
like geriatric pregnancies, as they call them,
Yeah.
which is so rude, by the way.
So
Um,
hurtful.
it's so
So
hurtful. Like,
hurtful.
actually, shut up. Why? Why would you say that? But he knows that because he's a dad. So he's not like he's had three occasions to learn about pregnancy, to know about it. He's not a fool. He's not an idiot, but he is wasting your time because he knew that he was not going to have a kid with you. He knew.
Yeah. I wish
He
I'd
knew.
known. I wish I'd known.
No, which is that's the cruel part, is the
Yeah.
deception, is that he deceived you.
Yeah. Yeah. So he tells me, you're going to be such a good mom. Our kid is going to be so amazing. Our kid's going to be so smart. She's going to look like it was going to be a girl. She's going to look just
Pathetic.
like
Sorry.
you. All this stuff. And he says, no, we're going to do this. Okay. I just want to like prepare my kids for it because my kids are going to have a hard time with it. So I just want to like prepare my kids for it. And I was like,
Liar.
okay.
Liar. Amanga. I'm sorry. I had to just say it in my own language where I'm like, Amanga. Lies.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like what is there to prepare them for? Like they're not gonna like it, but okay, all right. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I don't have a full-time job. I was supposed to start teaching that January. I was supposed to start teaching at the community college, but not enough people enrolled, so that fell through. And I was tutoring, but it wasn't full-time, so I was just like sitting around. And Colin is telling me we're going to move to DC. He's applying for jobs in DC all the time. And we're going to move to DC. We're going to move to DC. We're going to move to DC. So I'm just like, okay, well then I'm not going to bother trying to get a job. And he's telling me he doesn't mind providing for me. He loves providing for me. So I was like, okay. So I don't have a job and I'm just like waiting around for my baby. And that is like really painful. And it's all I want. It's all I want. It's all I care about. It's all I can think about. I turn pregnancy, childbirth, parenting into my special interest. I'm reading parenting books. I'm reading books about pregnancy. I'm reading books about childbirth. I read, what's it called? It's like a famous book.
What to
that I
expect
can't
when you're
remember.
expecting?
I didn't read that one.
Oh.
I read Ina May Gaskin. I read Ina May Gaskin's book, Spiritual Midwifery.
Wow.
I mean, I had a plan. I wanted to do a home birth. I had it all planned out. I just needed him to start trying to impregnate me.
And this man is like just by your side saying, "Yes, honey. Yeah, we're gonna do it."
Just not right now. Just not right now. Yeah. And, you know, it's driving me crazy, obviously. So now we're in July. And
Hey,
yeah,
Colin.
this is July 23rd, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I cared about anything else. I do not. I have very few interests outside becoming pregnant with Colin Kerrigan's child and then raising it. Like none. I need to tell him this, which I did in May. I had like a breakdown conversation with him in May where I was just like, this is the only thing in life that I want. And he was like, oh, okay. I told him it was all I wanted, all I thought about, that I had no other real ambitions or dreams. Which is sad, but it's true. Like, that is the only thing I cared about. I tried to care about other things. I tried to get excited about other projects, and I could not. Like, that was
I know.
it.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's awful.
The part for me that is awful is that like all these feelings and like wanting to have a child with him, it was in response to deception. Like that to me is the thing that's sad, not the feelings themselves. Like that was pure, you know? Mm-hmm. That was pure and it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you should say it was sad because it wasn't. I think that was a beautiful thing.
So this is July 26th, 2022. I have to talk to Colin about how I feel, about how scared I am. Ooh, I'm getting emotional, sorry. About how scared I am that we're wasting valuable time that it's just not going to happen unless we're really trying. He seems to think it will happen because we want it to, and I just don't know about that. But yeah, we have to have this conversation. I can't sit with these unknowns anymore. So, yeah. I just am like, I am 37. You're 50. Like, we have to do this. There's not... Oh, wait. There was one other thing I wanted to read.
He wasn't 50. He was 40. Wink, wink.
Okay. Maybe before losing my fucking mind, I could have a conversation with Colin about how I'm feeling, how scared I am, how much I want to be trying instead of wasting time. What are we waiting for? The perfect magical time when his kids will be happy about it? Yeah. So I have a conversation with him, and I'm like, we don't have time to waste. What are we doing? What are we doing? And he's like, well, I just want, my kids, it's going to bother my kids, and I just want, I haven't brought out the puppet yet. This is the Colin puppet. He's like, well, it's going to bother my kids, and I just want my kids to be okay with it. And I was like, your kids are going to hate it. And 100%. It's not their decision, and they're allowed to hate it, and we're allowed to live our lives, you know? Well, I just want to talk to my kids first. What do you think they're going to say? Do you think they're going to say anything you want to hear? I don't know. It's like, they're not going to say anything you want to hear. They're not going to say anything good. They're not going to be like, yeah, Dad, go procreate with the girlfriend we hate.
When did you come back from your grandma's funeral?
February.
So February is when he's like...
February to the end of July.
Because February is when he was like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're totally going to do it. Don't be sad. Or like, don't give up, rather. He says, don't give up. We're going to do this thing. And then he also says, I just need to tell my kids. I just need to make sure my kids are okay. Now we're in July, and he's saying, I just need to tell my kids and make sure they're okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Okay. As I said it, I was like, Spiso, you're being a jerk, because it's not, I too have procrastinated with having conversations that are difficult and that I don't want to have. So I have some compassion for that. But you know what? Do you know what adulting is? Adulting is having those conversations anyway. Like, you had a lot of fear and anxiety about like telling him what your wants were, and you wrote in your journal, just be brave and do it, and you had the conversation, because that's what adults do. Just saying. I feel like I'm coming off as a Colin hater in this episode.
You are allowed.
That's
allowed here.
I just feel like I just want to acknowledge that I am filtering everything you're saying through like a I don't like this guy filter. Like, that's what's happening. Yeah. And I want to acknowledge that's a filter I'm working with, and that is those are blind spots for me, and I want to just acknowledge that.
You are so kind.
For anyone listening, I want them to know I'm a reasonable person, but this guy is just getting under my skin. I think if you hurt my friends, it's hard for me to like look past that, Yeah.
So at the end of July, I just like lose it, and I'm like, we're wasting time. Like, what are we doing? And I told him, like, if you don't want this, that's okay, but you need to tell me that so that I can mourn this.
Yeah.
And I can move past it. And he got emotional, and he was like, no, I don't want you to mourn this. Like, I want you to be a mother. And I was like, okay. What are we waiting for?
Is he still saying I want you to be a mother with, like, is he still saying it as in I want you to be the mother of my child, or is he just saying I want you to be a mother?
Well, looking back, it's like when someone says, I think you should be a mom, like, and they're your partner, you're thinking, okay with you, right? Like, but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yes, and we're talking about Colin here. We're talking
We're talking about Colin.
about Mr. Deception himself, Mr. Sleight of language, not sleight of hand. He's here with the with the bending and the shaping and the like
Yeah.
manipulation. So
I mean, I wish I'd had a voice recorder on to better understand. But like my understanding is that he's telling me he wants to have a baby with me. I thought that he
yeah,
wanted to have a baby with
with
me.
yeah, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was the hope.
yeah. So he brings up his kids again, and I was like, that's dumb. Like you need to let go of this idea of like prepping your kids before we even start trying. Like what?
Mm,
We have to live our lives, and
mm,
there's a biological reality of like
mm,
time's a wasting, and we don't
mm,
know if this is gonna result in a need for IVF. Like I had
mm,
never tried to get pregnant before. I had no
mm,
idea if there was anything going on. I wrote in my journal about that conversation. This is July 27th,
mhm.
2022. I talked to Colin about my fertility fears, and he told me he's had his sperm tested in the last year and he's got good swimmers, which is amazing. I love that he was proactive about it and had done it. He probably did it for me. My God, I love that man. What a gift he's giving me. And he's sure we can get pregnant. He literally said to me, claim your fairy tale. My God, I love him. I love him so much. I'm so lucky. I really, really am. And the next month, when I was fertile, was the first time we tried to have a baby. But
Oh
we will get to that on the next episode. So, Suffiso.
no!
I forgot the most important part.
What?
You met him.
I did meet
You
him.
met him. What did
I
you
met him.
think?
I thought he seemed like a nice guy. I thought he was, I will say this, it did seem a little bit like we went to see a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I saw Kenise Mobley, I think that's her name, for the first time. And
She's
I
so
was,
funny.
I was like, this lady's hilarious. Like I found her so good. And we went out with Jackson after that, I think. Like we
Yeah.
went and we had a drink. And I remember thinking he seemed really keen to not impress us, but like I really felt like he wanted our like approval, or he wanted to make a good impression. Like he was on his best behavior. And I remember noticing that, you know, and like he was like super attentive towards you, super sweet. He was Yeah, he was just like kind of like goofy in a way. Like I remember some sort of shenanigans happening in the street when we were walking, but he also was like, yeah, we're gonna go here, I'll get the drinks. You know, like I don't know, there was just something like he was really trying to make a good impression. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Yeah.
thinking that he was a good looking man. We'd spoken about him, and you would post pictures of you guys all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, I never asked him what he did, but I was like, oh, he must have means because like you guys are traveling all the time. So yeah, that was my impression. It's just like, oh, this guy's really trying to make a good impression. He did feel, when I saw him in pictures, he didn't look like older. He didn't look old, but he did feel older when I met him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
not like, I'm not saying he was an old man. I just felt that, oh, he is like, he's not in his 30s. I could feel that.
Right.
I could feel like, no, this is a man. He's a grown
Mm-hmm.
man kind of thing. I say that because I dated when I was 21. I also had a man who lied to me about his age. And I thought he was something like 8 years older than me, which already felt risque. And it turned out he was more like 14 years older than me. And I was like, like I was 21
No.
and just so like, what? But it's because he had tried to pick up another lady and told her his real age, and he was 17 years older than me. That's how much older he was. Yeah, I just did the math now. And like, And she'd be like, wow, that's too old. So then when he met me, he lied so that I wouldn't write him off.
I'll just
And
lie.
Yeah.
I'll just lie.
And I believed him until I found out his real age. And I was like, what the heck?
These people who just lie.
Yeah, as if it won't catch up. But yeah, I remember that. I remember
you.
thinking he was a good-looking man. I was like, oh, he must be rich because like these guys are just all over the place and living their best lives. It feels like they're traveling here or eating out here and doing, it felt like you guys were kind of living a movie. And I remember thinking that like, wow, she found someone who's like taking care of her. That's good,
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I thought he felt older, not old, just older. I was like, oh, this is a mature somebody, not knowing he was an immature somebody.
Extremely immature. Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, there was like no giveaway that he was like a monster, right?
No, when I met him, I never thought that. Never.
Yeah.
To your point, when you were saying that he was playing a role and that he kept showing up that way, and so you eventually thought that that's just how he is. Like, I guess for me, it's that same thing where I'm like, oh, I met him and I was just like, oh, he's really doing his best to put on a good face. And I guess if I'd spent enough time with him, he would have just kept showing up that way. And I would have been like, oh, like this guy's just generous. Then, like I would have bought into, you know what I would do?
Because what would you do?
This is not a good thing. I'm not proud of this idea. I would finish recording these episodes and then send it to his daughter so that she knows what a trifling ass man her daddy is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll find him. Her best friend was on my LinkedIn a little while ago. So looking at my LinkedIn for whatever reason. So they're checking up on me. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. You are so insightful, and I really wish I had been telling you everything all along so that you could have steered me away from what happened. So where can the people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Fiso Pearl. That's my handle, at Fiso Pearl.
Fiso Pearl.
That's right.
I hope the people know how to spell Pearl.
Me too. But that's more Googleable than Fiso, I suppose.
All right. Thank you, Fiso.
Thank you.
I just love
thanks
you so
for
much.
Having me. I love you, friend, and thanks. This has been a ride. I'm devastated that we're ending here.
Until next time.
I have to wait. Yeah.
Thank you for watching My Boyfriend's Secret Family. Please like, share, subscribe, review. You know what to do. To follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok, it's at My Boyfriend's Secret Family. And to follow me, it's at USS_Andrea. To support the podcast, get bonus content, and listen early to new episodes, please support my Patreon at patreon.com/stats. That's patreon.com/STAATS. This podcast is created by me, Andrea Stats, and is a true story told from my point of view and to the best of my recollection. Some names have been changed to protect the wicked. Thanks again, and remember, on the first date, always ask if he has a secret family.